Welcome back to the channel. What is the first thing you do when you feel uninspired, desperately stuck in a creative rut? Well, of course, internet is your friend. You Google how to get out of a creative block, but you know all too well what happens next, right? You get sucked in head down into an endless spiral of blog posts, tutorials, Twitter threads, newsletters, YouTube videos, online courses for hours on end until you eventually lose your senses as they walk you through all sorts of obscure, esoteric ways to dig yourself out of your situation. After all, this is what the whole self-help business feeds on, the everlasting consumption of content that will show how to be more creative. But if all you do is reading about how to be creative, where is the part where you actually are creative? Yeah, nowhere to be found. Reading or hearing about creativity gives you the momentary illusion of being creative, but has no real chance of making you creative, precisely because the whole point of being creative is actually to be doing stuff. So how do you do it? How do you really start making stuff? Well, easy. Stop consuming. Turn off the passive absorbing mode and switch on the active productive mode. If until now your attitude has always been watching, listening, taking notes, studying, now it should be write, create, invent, schematize, shape. You must switch sides. You must stop being just a consumer. You have to become a producer. I know this sounds hard, but it's not as hard as it seems. Number 1, set a cap to the time you spend consuming content. You choose how much, but the rule is you are not allowed to consume more than the time you allocated to it. Be strict. Your smartphone can help. Both iOS and Android have features that allow you to set time limits for specific apps. What I'm saying is, when you find yourself in a creative block, watching content that shows how to get unstuck works like candies for your greedy brain. You get short hits of instant gratification from what you hear or read, and that will make you crave for more. However, only consuming more content will not make you actually do stuff. So, just like with candies, you should avoid too much. At the end of the day, the only way to be sure you learned anything is to be able to put it to use. So, number 2, explicitly block time in your calendar for your creative sessions. In that time slot, sit down, silence your phone, leave it on the other side of the room and get to work. Focus on extracting ideas from your brain and actually make something out of them. The deal is you must show up, even if you eventually get nothing done. This will be excruciatingly painful at the beginning, but after a few minutes of complete void, your brain will come up with something. That's guaranteed. Your brain absolutely hates being bored, so it'd do anything to avoid it. It will produce stuff, you just have to trust them. Also, you don't necessarily need to come up with completely novel ideas. You don't have to start from scratch. Try and imitate. Say you need to write a blog post or an essay that you just read a tweet from an author you like. Then try and come up with a story of your own based on that same subject. Think of it as your personal take on the topic. Just write down whatever comes out. You don't necessarily need to make your work public right away or ever. Use it as a way to practice your skills. Use it as a way to put all of the things you read or studied to use. Once the juices are flowing, you'll see it will actually be hard to stop. After a few minutes, you'll see that you'll be in a state in which you could be writing about anything. It will make you feel tremendously powerful. It will give you a huge confidence boost, triggering a virtuous cycle. You should definitely give this exercise a try. Sometimes deciding what to dedicate your time to and finding your passion might seem overwhelming. The risk is you might end up following the wrong advice. If you want to avoid that, you should check out this video in which I talk about the traps of the do what you love mindset. See you there. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.